Yeah, the Trump trial finally ended today. Guilty on all counts. Although I'm sure there'll be an appeal and then another
Kyle,
appeal, and then we'll go to the Supreme Court and we'll overturn it, and then he'll be president by then, and he'll just expunge all of it anyway, right?
When you heard about the Trump being a 34-time felon, did it make you feel like a beta, like a less of a felon?
Was it only 34?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought there were like 70 counts.
To get to that, like it's like 89 or 91. You have to add all his trials together. This one was only 34 of them.
Like if you're trying to make it look like you're not weaponizing the criminal justice system, or at the very least, if you're trying to make it look like we're all not conspiring to pile on at once right before an election, they have failed. They have failed.
The other thing that's working against Trump is he's guilty, right? We have his signature along with Cohen's and Weisenberg's on the payment schedules. We have his audio recording where he's like, yeah, we're going to pay off this whore I slept with. I'm paraphrasing. Can we push it till after the election where it won't matter anymore? No, I'm not trying to influence the election. This is all about Melania's feelings, but can we stiff her? And then if she comes free, we don't give a fuck. He's guilty on all 34 counts, and that's working against him in these things. The other trials, he was guilty too. His thing about lying about the size of the properties, space, the comps.
Again, the timing. It's after 70 years of this man probably doing the same shit. Oh, it's real important that we have 3, 4, 5 trials this year while he's campaigning and leading in the presidential election.
The timing argument doesn't hold up to me anymore because he's been delayed. We tried to do this shit years ago. Like I've been hearing, the timing is pretty suspicious for like 27 months now or something wild like that. He picked the timing. He chose to push it off to the year of the election.
He chose to be in court and all that, like now?
By delay, like he could have had these trials a long time ago, but he files frivolous motions. He tries to ask things to get delayed, and he's the one pushing all this stuff off. His objective was to make it after the election, but this one didn't get that far.
Yeah, all of this has happened in like the lead up after him announcing I'm running again. And that's what Kyle means by like,
so that's actually factually incorrect. Suspicious. They were doing this before he let up. He announced extra early, hoping that this would get the trials to not happen, but they had already started.
Yeah, it still looks suspicious.
If you look at it through a lens like that, then you'll find suspicion, but it's been happening for years now. This shit moves slowly, and it moves double slowly when you try to delay it, which Trump has indisputably tried to delay it as much as he can.
To me, and seemingly Kyle, I won't speak for him, it seems like weaponizing the judicial system to punish a presidential political opponent leading up to an election and throwing everything in the kitchen sink at him to try and get something. Who knows if this is going to increase or decrease his popularity? No one who was going to vote for him before isn't now not going to vote for him. I also don't know if this is going to influence people who weren't going to vote for him before to vote for him. I
know one person who can't vote for him anymore.
You're wrong. He can still vote.
Can he? How does that work?
Because in Florida, where he's from, they defer to the place where the felony happened, and in New York, they let felons vote. So he'll be able to vote in Florida because New York lets felons.
Of course, they do.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that felons let you. You need to move to New York.
Fucking Neapolitan cocksuckers, bunch of fucking bigwig intellectuals up there.
Yeah.
Poor Donald. Poor Donald. I hope he's okay tonight. I hope he's with his loved ones and his family.
I bet he's having a bad night.
Son.
I bet it looks like a Coca-Cola commercial from the 1930s. They're all gathered around the fire. He's sitting in his big armchair. Little children are, gathered around on the floor by his feet. Little Donald Jr. and Eric and Tiffany and what's the hot one called?
Ivanka. I always mix it up.
Ivanka?
Ivanka.
It's probably with a K. The hot one. Yes. Oh, yes. Jared Kushner's over there on the phone with Israel.
Fuck, perfect opportunity. When you said the hot one, I should have said Eric. Like, the ugly one of the
Eric, the actual hot one's Barron.
I can imagine Trump being like, he's like, this is a terrible time. I need my family around. Eric, just the other room. Yeah, it's fine.
It's the daughter that we can't even name, unless one of you can name. Who's the ugly daughter?
Tiffany.
Oh, Kyle Kent. Yeah, you're right. It is
Yeah.
Tiffany.
I don't think
She's the one who I think is like.
She's just not Ivanka.
You know what? She might even be pretty. I'm looking at her from her awkward stage 8 years ago.
Yeah,
You know,
it's fun. I saw Trump talking about her looks, and he's like, she's got great legs. We don't know if she's gonna have these or not, but she's a good-looking little girl. She's like 8 or some shit.
Is this Ivanka we're talking about?
No, it's Tiffany. It's Tiffany.
Okay.
This is like a, he loves doing media, so it was probably like Inside Edition, one of those rag TV shows from like however long that would have been, 15 years ago or some shit.
I remember those.
I saw that one of the Apprentice producers, whose NDA is apparently up, claims that they've got Trump on tape saying the N-word. They always say that. I'm waiting to hear it so that
I need to see the tape.
can go
Yeah,
up.
because we heard that 8 years ago and a little bit 4 years ago. Now
It's coming right after the.
Now
What
that
if-
golden oldie is coming back again. So what he said was this: they were talking about who was going to win The Apprentice, and it's something very close to like. But do you really think America is going to buy it? Do you think they think that a ninja can win? And that's Kyle, how close did I
that
come? You
sounds
probably saw
real.
it.
Pretty close. He was like, "You think anybody's gonna buy that? A ninja winning? Come on." It was something on those lines.
Yeah.
I bet like when you hear it, like black people are like, that's cool. He meant it the other way.
You think that?
Yeah.
You think
Black people know. When black people hear you say the N-word, they can tell if there's hate in your heart.
Yeah.
They can tell.
No. Black people
They
do not like Donald
sprint
Trump.
after
using the
you to
N-word.
give you pats on the back. I assume that's what they were sprinting after me for.
I spend all my time on Facebook now, and I get to see all the real photos of Donald Trump. I saw him at a barbecue with a bunch of black guys. Everyone's so happy. So happy they grew extra fingers and stuff. Like everyone's having a great fucking time. They got squiggly eyes. They're eating square meats.
Dude, it's so funny seeing the AI pictures that like so many boomers and like politicians fall for. Like it'll be like a real like congressperson from New Jersey, and they'll be like, "Look, it's Hunter Biden partying in Ukraine," and it's like you don't even have to look at the hands. Like there's like women with multiple arms like that don't make sense coming out from behind other people.
When I was in college, actual boomers, not me who's called a boomer, but like actual boomers were like, you cannot use the internet as a source on your papers. You know, the internet is unreliable. None of that stuff is good, etc. Now those same fucking boomers believe people with 9 fingers are supporting their favorite political candidates.
Yeah. Dude, do you remember, like, maybe, Kyle, you're at the same age-ish. Like, do you remember being told, like, don't even buy stuff on the internet? Don't even use a credit card online to purchase things because it'll get stolen by, like, a Chinese hacker. And then within like a decade, all those same like literal boomers are like, yeah, well, a guy with an Indian accent named Scott Stevenson called me and told me my Amazon account had a problem.
Oh my God,
so I gave him the title to my home. And
it's so frustrating to deal with that. I know boomers who've struggled with it. Like girlfriends, grandparents and shit. Like I knew this one lady. I think the scam was this. They called her on the phone pretending to be her grandson. And then like pretending to be her grandson's lawyer because he's in jail.
Yeah, he talked about
$10,000 to get him out or something. And they literally drove to her house and told her to put the money in the mailbox for the lawyer. And she put $10,000 cash in her mailbox, and a dude drove by and took it and left. And she's like, "Do you think you could track him down?" And it's like, no, not if we sick the dog, got the dogs out, the hounds, fucking Sherlock Holmes, the A-Team, and Captain America could not find that man who drove by your house earlier and took your money. Like it was just gone.
You got to feel bad for him a bit. It's a different world. But then I also think about other boomers, and it's like no one, like my grandparents would never get got by that scam, you know? Like, so then I'll be like, well, I guess maybe it's just like really dumb boomers we're falling for.
I guess you're going to have to stay in jail. Sorry, Taylor. Like, no. Every man's got to pull his own weight in this world.
What's that, Taylor? You're in a Honduran prison? Well, it's time. You got to serve your time.
Do you remember your Spanish?
No, this is not at all.
When we cared for my mother-in-law on her last days, she stayed with us when she had cancer, and like her last year or two, and she wanted to give to every charity that asked for money from her, like it was a bill. Like, oh, it says here that, like, I don't know, American Health Fund needs $300. All right, where's my checkbook? And it's like, no, that's not a bill. But I felt like, am I operating with a pure motive? Would she have done this 3 years ago, back when she was, more peak mental fitness? Or am I just like protecting the inheritance by making her less charitable?
No, you were doing the right thing, protecting her from predatory mail, 100%.
So I think making her less charitable is fine as well, because like she's dying. And like just look, if the goal is for her to feel good about doing a charitable thing and sort of score some points for the man upstairs, maybe even a little like I'm being good, like just let her think you're being good and pocket the money, right? Like just be like, how, there's a lot of charities out there that only take cash.
Yeah. Like,
but I'll run it over to them.
That's what I should have done.
St. Peter would be up there looking at her motives. I don't think he would get up there and be like, actually, we looked at the financial data, ma'am, and you're going to be spending a little more time in purgatory. And
you're saving her.
You'll never get your wings, because that's how heaven works.
No one does, as we've gone through before.
I feel like you haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life.
I have seen it.
Correct.
The documentary on how angels get their wings.
Is that the boy? I've got this soulful voice, apparently. Like, it's that guy.
Well, is that where that old timey voice comes from, where he just kind of sounds like this and it warbles a little bit, doesn't it?
That's it.
Is that a variation of the transatlantic accent?
No,
Maybe.
That was just how Jimmy Stewart sounded, I think.
Okay.
Isn't that his name?
Oh, people don't
Sounds
realize
right.
that I'm always having a series of strokes. All these damn actors, and they smell like toast.
Well, anyway, on the Trump thing, just to put a period on the end of that sentence, there's 2 dates in June. One is when he has to appeal, and one is when the prosecutor replies to his appeal request or something like that. And then in July is sentencing, which I'm seeing people predict probation. So that's how I think this goes.
Until they do a new round of polls. How often is that? Like every month they do?
There's new polls every day, but like a better question would be, how long until the current polls adequately incorporate this news? And I would say, 10 days, 14 days.
Okay. That'll be interesting to see how it impacts.
I don't think it'll matter.
You think it'll stay about the same?
I think that shit going on overseas is going to be more impactful than Trump being found guilty for something that the average person doesn't even understand. I don't think anybody cares. I think that most of the people are going to just see it and go, still going after him, huh? Or good, get him. What for? What's it for again? Who cares? Get him.
I think you're honest for a slightly different reason. Like, America's so divided and set in their position. When Ross Perot ran and got 24%, something like that, people were more open. Like, the swing vote was a third of the voting base. Now it feels like the people who are deciding which direction they go every election, I'm gonna make it up, but it's like 5%, not 35%. So how much of that 5 switches? Heck if I know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think Trump is such a polarizing candidate. It's a little bit different. I think he had a more moderate, conservative. I'm struggling to name one right now. Maybe Paul Ryan. I don't know Paul Ryan's politics, but maybe just good-looking white man, and he's more soft-spoken, and he isn't so hard-edged, and he doesn't have any negatives. Like, that guy can probably pull a lot more from the left or the center, but he certainly wouldn't have that die-hard, flag-waving, hardcore fan base.
No one would be turning out for huge rallies for Paul Ryan.
Or turning out to vote. Like, I feel like Trump has inspired what was traditionally an unreliable voter base. Like, you can picture the overweight guy with the goatee, the red hat, and the mirrored oil-stained sunglasses, and the anger. That guy didn't go to the polls very frequently prior to Trump. Now that guy is passionate about voting.
He was fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he can't afford his new bass boat because Biden's giving all of his money to Russia.
That's
It's true.
fair. It's true. He just always giving Russia money.
He's always
He
giving it
is.
to those Eastern Europeans. They're all they're all Greek to me.
They're all Russians to me. You know what where that word comes from, right? Slav,
No.
slave. They were
was
one.
gonna guess
So
that.
you got the cart before the horse, right?
And all those
Doesn't,
people.
doesn't slave come from Slav?
Ooh, probably.
I don't really question Taylor's word stuff.
Yeah. For the next
Yeah,
hour,
Run
he's
we're gonna
a
have,
entomology on
yeah.
Slav versus slave. Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
yeah.